hey guys, thanks for clicking in. This is Evan with my first episode of Biggie Talks, and today we actually got a topic that I like to discuss. We're going to start from the basics when it comes to my larger criteria of topics that I want to go ahead and dive into. But what we decided to talk about a little bit today is the economy. Specifically, we're going to talk about the price of eggs. So the price of eggs right now, you hear the average. I live in a lower cost of living state here in Tennessee, and we still see prices of a dozen eggs past $6. $6 for some eggs. So, that's just one of the things that you'll see in the supermarket. You'll see a lot of these common trends of, the average consumer going to these lower cost shopping centers or shopping marts. Like instead, people choose to go to Aldi. They usually have the more fair price. I do highly recommend Aldi as a place to shop alternatively. But the eggs, again, I think it's a symptom of a very, very unstable economy right now. As you'll look around, it's underrepresented in the media, but you'll see that the trends over the last 1 or 2 years, we've been seeing plenty of closures that have flown under the radar. Some examples would be like Red Lobster, Hobby Lobby, the Container Store, and the list honestly goes on. I'd recommend a Google search sometime to look that up. But yes, our layoffs have been excessive, to say the least. I'm part of the tech industry, and we've been getting hit particularly hard. For one of the reasons we can talk on, it's AI. I actually came to learn that one of my past positions, it was a level 1 help desk. I came to learn that they basically integrated their automation into that, and my job was just one of those to get cut. Unfortunate, but it's the reality we're living in. AI will be another talk for another time. And I think I'm on a kind of roll with this one. Don't need any jump cuts quite yet. So I'm just going to keep talking here. So, the price of eggs. If you're going shopping, it does not feel good when you walk out for like a small family with just a few bags of groceries and then you're paying $300 plus. You already got bills. The average American, they're paying well over 50, 60, 70% of their average income straight to housing. So whatever's left over, that goes to things like child care, home care, to the actual care of the home, taxes, just any maintenance at all that happens in a life. It's expensive to live. It's very expensive. That's why I think we need to have kids in schools be taught more financial literacy, because you have them now graduating and going out there in the real world, and then what do? They turn to that credit card and they rack it up. They just don't know that interest will come back to bite. So right now, if you look it up, about 40% of Americans rely on credit entirely for all of their expenditures. That is just a vicious cycle, as the debt. The credit cards, they usually run the highest when it comes to the percentage debt that you're actually allowed to accumulate on those, and the amount that you end up paying at the end can almost be double what you were trying to pay at the beginning. So when I see just people just racking those credit cards up, that's very concerning. Alright, so let's get more on topic here of what the main topic of our discussion was today. Hopefully I can edit in an egg right here. That'd be great. But basically, all in all, what does the price of eggs indicate for our economy? Again, the instability, at least for the trends that I've seen. Under the Biden administration, it just seemed like the economy was barely holding on. The media, it just seemed that they didn't want to project that we were under any turmoil. We can look at housing prices. Let's just look at housing prices. I mean, during the last year, 2024 was the worst year for home sales in the United States since about, I think it was the 1970s. The prices have just become so inflated that they just can't sell at this point. So there's a little bubble in that market. I'll have another entire video, I'm sure, on that. I follow some pretty good sources when it comes to just the housing market. I said I was going to get us back on topic, and then I pull us over to housing. All right, let's see here. So with the stock market and all this, and the layoffs, again, thousands of layoffs coming from these companies, for example, from like Hobby Lobby or something like that. Those stocks and the shareholders, the shareholders actually love that. The stocks go up because they're like, all right, we're cutting these jobs, we're adding efficiency into the equation, and while it sucks as people are losing their job, we're still bringing in the all-time highs when it comes to just revenue. That's what they're doing it for. Third portion of what I'm going to talk about here is just the predictions of what I'm seeing, at least with the stock market, and again with where our economy was and where I believe it to be leading. I currently think we are looking at rough financial times, at least briefly, under the Trump administration. It's just we got to sweat out all the bad stuff first, and then we'll hopefully get towards recovery. But there's a lot of American sentiment right now that's just saying that this year may be difficult. I personally was expecting at least some form of economic turmoil or huge degradation within the stock market last year. I guess they were able to prop everything up and keep everything afloat until now. And I do think if the stock market does not collapse within this year, if it doesn't in the next year, then I think we're okay. We may be in the clear, but it's just, you got to be careful with that right now. It's just too unstable. At least with the numbers that have been projected, when it comes to like unemployment and all that, and just how the numbers that they pull in order to determine what the big picture of our economy looks like. Of course we measure GDP, but I feel like the unemployment numbers are very much going underrepresented. Why they say it's about a 4% unemployment rate within the United States, they don't factor in quite a few things. So like, if you've been unemployed for over 6 months and if you're not looking for a job while you're employed, or if you're falling under the category of an NEET, a NEET, not an employment, something and in training, not employment, something and in training. But yeah, we got a very high number of people that fall into that category, that are just underrepresented. I would think the truer numbers would be closer to about, honestly, about 10 to 20 to even 25% at the max, I'd say. That's bad. The economy and the job market are a inferno. It's not a good thing at all, and I pray that we can all slide through this one, get through it, and on to better things. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get closer to my final thoughts, and we'll go ahead and tie everything together as best as I can here. So, the price of eggs, astronomical. It really is just a slap in the face of Americans to see these prices, this inflation, all of this just absolutely filleting their wallets right now. It's bad. But honestly, there is hope. We just need to save money. No more bullshit expenditures, for real. Credit utilization, I already touched on that. Let's see here. Bird flu, touched on that. I guess my last thoughts here would be that in seeing like Tucker Carlson be pulled in for an exclusive interview into a place like Russia in order to demonstrate exactly, or for them to give their little spiel on like what's going on in their country, which he did probably about almost 2 years now. But basically, I'm sure it was a propaganda campaign, but all in all, seeing those prices within their supermarkets be lower than the ones on an equivalent basis with the United States, while that country is in full-fledged war, doesn't add up very well. But I understand that those, of course, they run on the ruble, we're the United States dollar. But just seeing stuff like that, it just doesn't feel fair, right? I mean, that's not going to be the only reason that I kind of feel bad for just the average consumer in the United States right now, but I think we just need to be more frugal. If you got to work more hours, do it. But we got to find time for living too. I think my very final thought here would be, I want to go ahead and give my support to all the small-time farmers or small family farmers within the United States. I think that they do the most for our country. We can't just have all these means productions for like eggs and everything just be controlled by these large corporate conglomerates. We just have too much massive influence on everything that goes into such things that just causing the price of eggs to go up. I mean, that's not necessarily correlated. I just wanted to shout out the farmers on that one, to be honest. Keep up the good work. You are doing God's work, and I think that'll be it for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great one.